This is the K95 Sports Show podcast, brought to you by the Fan Zone in Wilmer's Candy Mall.
Hey, welcome to the K95 Sports Show podcast. I had to show you at least my my get up that I wear every when I go to every Viking game. So as you saw, as the screen, that's my get up. I got to do the face mask. Got to do the mohawk, of course. Both of them from the Fan Zone in the Candy Mall. I don't think they have them anymore. I bought these years ago. But that's where I got them from. So thank you to the Fan Zone, as usual, for sponsoring me here. Excuse me. Hold on. Chat messages will be flagged. Can turn this on and off anytime. All right. So obviously this is my first time doing live. Normally, obviously, you just see the K95 logo and stuff. So bear with me as I kind of play around here with just the room as a whole. And I will be going through and giving you a better tour of my basement. You can see it in the background already a little bit, but I'll do a little closer look at it here pretty soon. So let's I can pull up notes and stuff here. Like I said, thank you for joining me this morning. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. Hopefully they had good times with their family and friends and all that fun stuff. But like I said, I'm going to be kind of just playing around here a little bit. So excuse me if there's some learning gaps here on how I do things. But I'm going to be talking about some stuff here. There, you can comment to the side. And we can talk back and forth a little bit. So if you have any questions or you want to chime in on what I'm currently saying at all, if you are watching live, please do that in the comment section. If you're watching this afterwards, after I've been live, comment your thoughts in just the normal comment section of YouTube. So let's get right into the Vikings game from Sunday. I mean, once again, it was a solid half a game by the offense. But as usual, I'm not going to start with negatives about them starting off slow. I'll do that next. So I'll actually start about some positives as usual. So we'll talk defense. Defense did their job like they always do. Before I get any more into the defense, I just want to one person I want to talk about right away is Eric Wilson. He has Jeremy Dewitt. He has looked solid. Earlier in the year when he was in for Barr, and then Sunday against Kendricks. When he was in for Kendricks, he did awesome again. He has been surprising. I've really liked him. I ain't gonna lie, I forgot he was an undrafted rookie for us last year. And he's out of Cincinnati. One thing to know about him, he was the first team AAC for 2016. So obviously they in the AAC for Cincinnati, which is a smaller college, but the fact that he was a first team just shows the talent there. A lot of the experts, the draft experts, thought that he'd go in the 6th, maybe 7th round. He didn't. He went undrafted. Of course, we picked him up on free agency. As far as he's been just playing minimal behind those two because you're not going to take Kendricks or Barr out unless they're injured, so he's not going to play much. So and also, before I totally forget, if he plays the way he's been playing, I still have a feeling Barr is gone. I think Anthony Barr is gone at the end of the season unless some players take a pay cut in the offseason to make more room to sign Barr. But I just have a feeling Anthony Barr is gone. And if he is, from what I've seen so far, I wouldn't mind Eric Wilson. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of relapses from him, I guess, or obvious mistakes by him. But he's been very impressive. And I just want to point out too, also Eric Wilson, undrafted free agent. We do really well with undrafted free agents. Some other undrafted free agents that Spielman has signed. For all you Spielman haters out there, let's see. Obviously, the biggest name, Adam Thielen, obviously undrafted. Holton Hill, who's been playing a lot this year and playing actually very well. I think we can all agree on that for an undrafted rookie. Again, undrafted. CJ Ham, our starting fullback. He's just been solid. He's a solid run blocker. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball a little bit. Undrafted. And probably for me, one of the surprises of 2018, Anthony Harris, also undrafted. He has been just been surprising the heck out of me. I thought when we signed Iloka before the season and stuff, I was like, I thought Harris was the odd man out because I knew they liked Javon Curse because of his height, because he's like 6'2", 6'3", and so I was like, okay, a safety that tall with who seems to be pretty talented, they're going to keep him, and I thought Anthony Harris was gone, but of course now as we've seen, Sendejo gets injured. He's a free agent at the end of the year. They're just kind of just pushed him off and just kind of like, all right, we're done with him. He won't be back. Then I thought, obviously Iloka, I don't know, for whatever reason, this is the type of thing that we can't see the practices and the games and the game studying and stuff. So we don't know what Iloka's doing, but Harris just coming out of nowhere and just being solid. And it just shows. So it's, let's see, a question on here. What are the top two things in general would you fix this off season to bring consistency to this team? I've touched on it a little bit on previous episodes, but I would definitely say, for me, it's just straight up offensive line. Offensive line coach. Have one coach, not two, one coach, and a name that's out there, not some up and coming offensive line coach. I want a guy who was let go from another regime that was let go also. So the entire coaching staff was let go and he's looking for a job. I want to pick up somebody like that, somebody who's had a history in the past of having good offensive lines. I want that veteran coach offensive lineman. Then I think also we want to draft guards and maybe see what free agent guard might be out there if we can afford one. I'm overall satisfied with center in both tackle positions. Reef is hit and miss sometimes, but we don't need all pro all the way across the board. So Jeremy, that'd be the two top things in general to make them more consistent, because if the offensive line is consistent, then the passing game and everything offensively is consistent. And I think that's the only inconsistency really in the on our team is the offense of line and the offensive side of the ball, period. Let's jump back to the defense here quick. Another great game, excuse me, I'll be looking to the side. I've got another little laptop over here, so can kind of look here, obviously we only held the Lions to 9 points. They're not the offensive past is hold on a second here. Trying to look at some stats here. And to be honest, they were without two of their top, with Johnson and Johnson being gone for running back, and they just so they were kind of mailing it in on the season anyways, but we dominated them. The first half, like we said, talking about slow start. The slow start with the offense. A lot of it had to do with the great punt coverage by Detroit on that first one, where we got down at the 2 and then we had the false start and we're at the 1, and all of a sudden, I do agree that they're trying to get themselves room, but I would have preferred a better play than just that one quarterback sneak and then the handoff to Ham. But that doesn't explain the rest of the first quarter and most of the second. It almost seemed like we were a little bit predictable in the early part. I think what happened is we wanted to really hit the run game a lot during that first, and I think the defense, obviously with Zimmer talking nonstop about run, the Lions came out and they're like, "You're not going to run against us." So when we were trying to run, they weren't allowing us to run. So that just it felt like we didn't have a plan B so much for when that happened. And that's got to be on Stefanski a little bit. He's got to be able to switch to passing a little bit sooner. So that's a little concerning because, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, we slow start. This is 2 games in a row now. We've technically only played a half a game offensively, and that is quite annoying. And we need to play a full game, and that's the thing. And I think that's what's going to stop us from if we don't do any damage in the playoffs. That's what's going to stop us. I feel it's just our offense cannot play a full game. You take a look at the other teams; they play full games. What happened on Sunday? If our offense had 4 yards halfway through the second quarter against any of the playoff teams, there's no guarantee the defense would have been holding them for 9 points because obviously they're better offensive teams. It's going to be so they need to play a full game for once. Hopefully we'll see that against Chicago on Sunday. Obviously it's home. Looks like if we win, obviously we're in, but then we're just going to have to turn around and play Chicago again, which I hate. I talked about it the last episode. There's no reason. I hate playing teams back-to-back weeks, especially division teams. But it is what it is. I don't see Seattle losing to Arizona and us jumping up to the 5th seed. So kind of plan on if we win, we're playing Chicago right away again. So it'll be difficult. Jeremy, question. So the sole problem we face this season is quarterback protection. I would say that's one of the main reasons, because you see when Cousins has time, he does great. Like example, on the weekend, he only had 2 hits. Let me check here. 2 sacks against Cousins and 3 quarterback hits. So that's a decent game. Well, for our offensive line, that's a decent game, I should say. And that game then, Kirk Cousins, 21 for 28, 253 yards. Of course, the 3 touchdowns. Obviously, 45 of that was the great Hail Mary catch by Rudolph, which was just amazing. It was almost like they were just playing catch out in the field. It was almost like there was no Detroit Lions even in the end zone trying to stop him from catching the ball. It was like a bullet pass too. It wasn't, normally when you see a Hail Mary, it's got a heck of a lot more loft on it, but it seemed to have a lot less, and it was a little more of a direct one, and he just jumped up and nabbed it. It was nice. It was nice to see something like that happen for us, and it was good. Let's see. So Cousins, Cook obviously did another great game. Obviously, if you have any questions, once again, please hit the comment on the side. Cook 16 carries, 73 yards, 4.6 average. 4.6 average, take that all day, every day, twice on Sundays. He had 3 catches for 35 yards. Once again, it's showing when we have an offensive coordinator like Stefanski who can game plan for around an offensive line that isn't good. The run pass option that we were doing under DiFilippo just didn't work. Just didn't work for the Vikings offensive line, and I feel if you're doing the run pass option, also you have to have a quarterback that has a tendency to keep the ball himself. That never happened. Excuse me a second. Of course, got a Vikings bottle to drink out of here. So obviously, Cousins ain't going to run those balls, so obviously we need him down below center more often in the traditional shotgun. Does that mean we don't ever do run pass option? No, we can still do run pass option occasionally, but you just it needs to be in situational, or maybe some money plays that we know work all the time. So with Stefanski, it's still a learning curve. Obviously, only a second game. So far, if I would give him a report card in his first 2 games, I would probably give him a B minus. For those listening, comment what you would kind of give him as your grade. But I'd say B minus B. There's room for improvement, but he's had some great A. He's hit the A mark a few times, if you ask me, and so that's been. So Stefanski's been solid, if you ask me. And when we go up against the Bears, he's going to have his first real tough challenge because we got a great defense. I was kind of looking at the Viking Bear game from earlier in the season where we lost 25-20. It was an interesting game. I'm trying to remember all the way back exactly how it unfolded. Once again, we started off slow, where we only, it was, 14-0 at halftime, and then we got just the field goal. So after 3 quarters, it was 14-3. So we couldn't get going. We got the field goal. We were within a score. Then we had the pick six. That's the thing about the Bears. I mean, could they get any luckier? I mean, they're number one in turnovers in the season. That's why they are where they are. When they don't get turnovers, then they don't get their offense in a short field, and then their offense doesn't take advantage of it. Because even in that game against us, Trubisky only had 165 yards passing and 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. So we got after him good. And I'm still not sold on Trubisky at all. I mean, maybe he'll be just an average quarterback, that, ranked 15th, 16th in the league. What makes him a little bit better is his scrambling capability. If he was a statue there, he would probably be bottom 5, 10 quarterback in the league. But because he can run the ball, I feel that makes a big difference for him when he's playing. And so like I said, I'm not too worried about Trubisky. On the offense, obviously their run game is solid. Howard is a great bang. Inside the tackles runner, pushing people over, moving the pile. And Cohen is that change of pace back that can catch out of the backfield and do and just use a speed to run around players. So I mean, it makes they've got a good combination there. If they could get some wide receivers, then they might be dangerous, and that might be the difference between Mitch being where he's at and taking that step up. Because I just don't. Tyler Gabriel, Allen Robinson, meh. Let's see. I do like their tight end, Trey Burton. He's solid. But the Bears game is definitely going to be it's going to be such a challenge. We need to definitely when we're there, we need to create the turnovers like we did. Not only in this game. Notice my dad's watching. He chimed in. Yes, we need to create more turnovers. That's always been the Vikings for a long time on our defense. It seems like we don't create a lot of turnovers. I don't know why. You watch other teams and they're punching at the ball, they're stripping at the ball, and I just don't see the Vikings doing that as much. And if we could increase that, that'd make a huge difference. But that's why it's the defense is the bend but don't break mentality. Because we're not getting turnovers. We're still giving up some yards where they get in field goal range, and then we stop them for a field goal. That's a good thing to do, but we need some turnovers. It's nice to get a turnover. It'd be nice to have, a turnover inside the 40 or 30-yard line, and only have our offense having to go 30 to 40 yards for a touchdown or worst case scenario field goal. So, if for us to be successful in the playoffs, we need to get those turnovers. Like I said, the Bears game is it's going to be interesting. I'm kind of glad now they do have something to play for a little bit, the Bears, because I would like to beat them full, um, you know, full rostered, but we need to we definitely need to get out fast start. Fast start is going to be the key, because if you notice in the games that we have the most sacks for our defense, it's when we've gotten out to a fast start, and then all of a sudden the other teams decide to abandon their run game and they're starting to pass more. And when they do that, then we're able our great defensive line is able to pin their ears back and rush the quarterback, and we're able to get to him more. So it's going to be all about a fast start for the Bears game. One thing I'll say is it's so far on the live show, it's been kind of different talking nonstop for 21 minutes. I'm sure I've kind of been bouncing back and forth all over the place on what I've been talking about. So thank you for sticking with me, a few of you, and thank you for listening for those that do. For the Bears, obviously they've got to just do what they did last time and get to Cousins. But then again, I think it's going to be just a totally different game because of Stefanski's play calling and game planning. That's totally different from DiFilippo. So it's like I don't think the Bears offense has changed since we've played them. So who knows what's going to happen? But I also think, but with our side, I think it's changed. So it's hard to look at the last game and just be like, okay, well, they're the exact same two teams coming in, and what's going to happen. I just don't see that because of the change in the offensive coordinator and the change of game plan and the change of play calling as a whole. So they're gonna have to still Mac. They're gonna have to unleash Mac on us. Hope he can get to us. God, I wish I would have brought up the stat. Because we're talking obviously a lot about offensive line, but Brian O'Neill, I saw, hasn't given up a sack, I think, for it was a couple hundred snaps. It was for a long time. Man, I wish I could find that. I knew I should have taken a screenshot of that tweet that I saw, but and he only gave up one pressure, I think, against the Lions. So it was, he's been a nice thing also. Let's see. Let's excuse me here. Well, we'll continue to talk Vikings here. Now that we're at the 22-minute mark, I don't want to go super long on this, but I'm going to kind of give you a little bit more of a tour of the Viking room. So, unfortunately, I just got the front loading camera here on my tablet. On my computer. So, when you come down, this is my stairs. We got on the shelf, we got a whole bunch of Vikings stuff here. The old Mirror Life poster there. Come in. This is from L. Sheldon. I bought this from him recently. As you see here, it is purple. I get the little highlight here on the purple and yellow shelving. We'll start over here with Stingers in town, and the yellow, I made a little Stingers one, so that's the only non-Viking stuff really kind of down here. Variety of things, AP, big old sign there, and of course the 3D poster. You don't have a Viking Man Cave unless you have the 3D poster in your room. Just telling you that. You got to have the 3D poster. Just some more, just tons of miscellaneous stuff up here. Got the Vikings Reef there, and of course for Christmas, got my Christmas tree here. Little Noel stuff. Let's see, a whole bunch of posters. The Vikings there, Matt Burke. Let's see. Got an old picture of the Metrodome here. Some other ones here. This is the one that Zylstra signed for me here when he was in studio. We got over here more. I said a whole bunch of Viking stuff. Got one Timberwolves thing, a couple Timberwolves things. KG for MVP. I mean, come on, you got to hold on to that. But yeah, just a variety of so many different Viking things. Pills there. Let's see. Got the PS4 with this Viking skin. Compliments of Pro Color Graphics here in Wilmer. Check them out for all your signage. Matt Stark does an awesome job. I got another column here with just a ton of Viking stuff. There's my cat with a Viking hat on. More stuff here. I mean, just tons and tons of stuff. The old lockers over here. Me at one of the draft parties. Got a variety of the different teams up here. Some signatures. Randall McDaniel. Bobby Wade, huh? There's a name I haven't talked about for a while. Sidney Rice up top. Kind of look. I've got these gold chairs. Purple couch. Got these my end tables here. Those are all painted purple and gold. Kind of come over here more. As you can probably see in the background, and you'll see it right now, I collect shot glasses. And I had them all, and I was kind of like, oh, I had them all wood. It's all wood, obviously. It was just the normal wood, and I was like, well, let's paint them purple and put them up against this yellow wall. It really makes them pop out. But so I got all those. There's some Viking. I got plenty of Viking shot glasses and different things here. It's kind of cool wood carving here of the Viking head, AP, bunch of pillows. These are two new pillows that I got yesterday for Christmas. Let's see. Bud Grant signature when he was in Wilmer for the Menards grand opening. Variety of stuff here. More shot glasses. A whole bunch of more stuff over here. Bunch of footballs, coolers. That's kind of a cool little thing talking about US Bank Stadium. Yeah, some more Viking shot glasses and all the four major sports: Twins, Wolves, Wild. But yeah, that is pretty much the Viking room that I have here. Eventually, just continue adding stuff to it. It's a nice room. What do you think, huh? So yeah, well, let me know what you guys think of the room. What was your favorite thing that you saw in the room? Comment that if you'd like. Let's talk. Let's see. Let me see if I got any new comments at all over here. What do we got here? Let's see. We need to play. Yeah, we do mistake-free football against Chicago. Yeah, they got to stop the run game. Yeah. No, it'll be. Let's talk a little bit about the playoffs here for a few minutes, and then I'll probably try to wrap things up because, like I said, I don't want to go too long. But another drink here. With the playoffs, I don't know. I really don't know what to expect. To be honest, the team that I'm most scared of, I think that the NFC should be most scared of, I feel is Seattle. I feel the Seahawks have really out of nowhere. I mean, everybody was writing them off at the beginning of the season, including myself, and they've come around amazingly. And so I think they're definitely going to be one of the toughest. I think they might have a chance to kind of run through. But then I think also that we're dangerous. I mean, the both on the NFC and the AFC side, they're both so much. I believe it's a lot closer than it was expected a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. The Chiefs are in the middle of their patented late season choke job. I mean, I don't even know if they'll win a home game in the playoffs, which they haven't since Montana was quarterbacking them. I saw, so you think they would this year, but we thought they would previous years too when they started off well. New England, I don't feel as who they are. Pittsburgh is up and down. The Chargers have gotten a little banged up lately, but when healthy, they're good. So I do like the Chargers out of the AFC right now. Other than that, Houston, they're just inconsistent also. See, Jeremy asked if Dallas gets a playoff win. I don't think so, because they're probably going to go up against Seattle. And I see Seattle handling them pretty easily, to be honest with you. I think Dallas is, to me, by far the weakest playoff team, probably in the entire league, let alone just the NFC. But then again, who knows? They just need one good game any given Sunday. Weird bounces. That's what I love about football. On the NFC side, it's going to be tough to go into New Orleans and beat the Saints at New Orleans. It's going to be tough just because it's at New Orleans. But again, they have been kind of inconsistent also. So, as the 6th seed, if we go into the 6th seed and we win, we're guaranteed to go to New Orleans. I mean, the lowest seed goes against the number 1. So there's literally zero chance of us playing anybody but New Orleans if we go in as a 6th seed. If Seattle beats the Niners, the Cardinals. So we're going to be there. We will be, if we win against Chicago, we will be in New Orleans to face them, and that's okay. That's okay to. That's okay. I'm more scared of them there than they are anywhere else, but I'm not horribly scared of New Orleans. Another question about the Browns. All right, 500, 400 or lose to knock the Steelers out of the playoffs. I think the Browns will come up short because they're playing in Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore's good. I totally forgot about Baltimore. They've been a weird team too. They might be kind of a surprise team in the AFC, but I don't see the Browns beating Baltimore at Baltimore. I think Baltimore will win for sure, and I believe that will knock out the Steelers. I believe that was kind of your question. Off the top of my head, I believe that's true, but I think I'll probably kind of start wrapping it up. We've been on here for 33 minutes. I will be doing this. I should have probably said this at the beginning of the podcast, but I will be doing this again next week on New Year's Day on Tuesday at 11 a.m. I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be sitting here in my Viking room and we'll go over the Bears loss, or Bears loss. Yeah, the Bears will lose, not our loss, but Bears will lose. The Viking win, Bears loss, and we'll talk about what happens, what's going to go on, and then we'll preview the next week's game against the Bears probably if we win. So hopefully I'll be previewing a game next week. I don't want it to be a short one. It'll be let's just get behind the Vikes. The 3 o'clock. Unfortunately, you got to listen to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman talk. So it's another negative. But it is what it is. You just got to realize they're just talking heads and they just follow wherever the bouncing ball goes. So we'll see what happens with the Vikes Bears game on Sunday. Hopefully Kendricks can come back. Like I said, even though I talked Wilson up huge at the beginning, and I do like Wilson, obviously we'd rather have Kendricks in there to start. So hopefully Kendricks is back. Worst case scenario, hopefully he's back for the playoffs if we win. But let's just go in there and let's look at a complete game. A complete game. I don't expect them to keep Cousins clean against that defense from getting sacked or hit. But let's play a complete offensive game. I want us to score every quarter. I want to score every quarter, because then that to me that's almost the definition of a complete game, is that you're putting up points every quarter. Once again, when we played against the Bears, we put up that 17 in the fourth, and that's it. And we had 3 points for the first 3 quarters. For the first quarter and a half, we had 0 points until we got that touchdown to Diggs, and then the Hail Mary to Rudolph, and then only 3 points in the third quarter. So I want to see us consistently scoring each quarter, and not getting shut out for large swaths of time. So I think I'll wrap it up here. Oh yeah, and do scores. Good call there, Jeremy. Jeremy T. Win put in 27-24 Vikings as his guess for the score. Comment your guess underneath the comments. As usual, like this video, share it, subscribe, hit the bell, all that fun stuff. Score for me, I don't think it's going to be that high scoring, Jeremy. I think I'm thinking like 2017 Vikes. I do agree it's going to be within 3, and I have a feeling that 3 is going to be coming towards the end of the game. I don't think it's going to be where we're up by 10 and they get a garbage touchdown or something. I feel that if we win by 3, it's going to be us kicking a field goal within, or scoring a touchdown within the last 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then our defense stopping them, hopefully, from coming back and tying or winning. So, yeah, I think 20-17 is the high end on the scores, but obviously we'll see. We're playing at home, so we know how we play differently at home. Unfortunately, we got to go to Chicago next week after that if we do win. So that'll be a totally different game there. But let's continue to cheer on the Vikes here. Let's hope we beat the Bears, we get into the playoffs, and we start a little streak. Oh, before I go, I made a comment to somebody on my Viking fan page. We're so used to, I'm feeling that when we make the Super Bowl, or when we win a Super Bowl here in the near future, hopefully, I don't think we're going to be that dominant team all season. I just feel like that's just too obvious for us. We're not going to be the 1 seed or the 2 seed. We're going to need to be the 3, 4, 5, or 6 seed and just get hot when the playoffs come. I think when we win the Super Bowl, it's going to be a little bit more of a surprise entering the playoffs that we rattle off a bunch of wins and we win the Super Bowl. Just because we've been in that spot where we've been the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed in the past and dominated a lot of the season and then just choked in the playoffs. I just have a feeling that script is going to be differently. But once again, it's purely guessing. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just a fan. I'm just a rube in my Viking basement talking to you guys about the Vikings. So thank you for joining me. Once again, in the comments, let me know what you think about the Viking Room. Let me know what you think about this show as a whole, being live this first time. I ain't gonna lie, this ain't gonna be a weekly thing. It's just I was off of work today and I didn't want to go and record anything or do anything else. So I was just like, well, I'll just put it up here at my house here. And plus you guys get to see my Viking Room. So that's not necessarily a bad thing either. So thank you for those that did join me live. Thank you for those that rewatched this. Once again, subscribe, hit the bell, comment, like the video, share it, all that fun stuff. And let's cheer the Vikings on to a win here this Sunday against the Bears at the 3:25 game, the America's game. So Skol Vikings, thank you for joining me today, guys. And we'll talk to you live at around 11 o'clock again on New Year's Eve day. So on a Tuesday, not a Wednesday. We always put the episodes out on Wednesday, but I'll be doing Tuesday next week on New Year's Day. So 11 o'clock New Year's Day. If you have a chance to watch, tune in again. Maybe some of you just will be still getting over your hangover. So my soothing voice can help get you over that. No, the soothing voice. No, okay. But thanks again, guys. We'll talk to you next. We'll talk to you next week. Comment anything on here. Skol Vikings.